One day, a 14-year-old Izuku woke up, stretching and yawning. He gets ready for his day at school at UA. When he entered the kitchen for breakfast, Izuku greeted his mother. Good morning, Mom. How did you sleep?
Buenos días, Shizuku. ¿Cómo dormiste?
What?
Buen día. ¿Dormiste bien?
Mom, I don't know what you're saying.
Entiendo que no sabes lo que estoy diciendo, pero después de la escuela lo enterarás.
Inko then pats her son on the head, gave him an envelope that said, "Do not open until the end of today," and then leaves the room. What was that all about? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Izuku goes to see who it is. Looking through the peephole, he sees what appears to be a 50-year-old American man wearing a cap and a red t-shirt. Sir, who are you? Hey, open your open your. What the? Sir, can I help you with something? The old man then steps out of frame and Izuku walks away, confused. What the heck was that all about? Suddenly, there was a loud thud at the door, as if an aggressive force was striking it. What the heck? Suddenly, a big black man bursts through the door and ushers at Izuku. He screams, and we fade to black, and then reappear with Izuku holding his book bag straps by both hands as he holds his book bag onto his back, completely in shock about what had just happened. Izuku thought to himself, man, if he just wanted some sugar, all he had to do was ask. He didn't have to go into his GTA 5 online setting and change characters and break through the front door. But at least he said he'll pay for it. Oh man, what is with today? Why is it so weird? Hopefully things will be normal at school. While walking, Izuku walks past a wooden fence and he hears a conversation between a father and his son. Can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me? Like you? Who the hell says I gots to like you? What law is there to say I gots to like you? Want to stand in front of me and ask some damn fool ass question like that, talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. I asked you a question. What laws there say I gots to like you? None. All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day? Yeah. And as long as you live in my house, you put a sir at the end of it. You understand me? Yes, sir. You eat every day? Yes, sir. Got a roof over your head? Yes, sir. Clothes on your back? Yes, sir. Why do you think that is? 'Cause of you. Hell, I know it's 'cause of me, but why do you think that is? 'Cause you like me? Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them every day 'cause I like you. You are about the biggest fool I ever saw. It is my job. It is my responsibility. A man must support his family. You live under my house. You feed your belly with my food. You put your behind in my bed because you are my son and not 'cause I like you. It is my duty to take care of you. I owe you a responsibility. Now, let's get one thing straight before we go any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday because he like me. He give it to me because he owe me. Now I done gave you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life. Me and your mama, we worked that out between us. And liking your black ass was not part of the bargain. Now don't you go through life worrying about whether someone like you or not. You better make sure that they are doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Then get the hell out of my face and get down to that AMP. Izuku was taken by the man's advice on expectation of affection to be more concerned if anyone is doing right by you instead of them liking you. Suddenly, Izuku hears the father yelling at him, "Hey boy, what you doing listening to me and my boy's conversation? You best get the hell out of here." The back of Izuku's hair stands up and he runs. And soon he arrives at school, and for whatever reason, everyone was just staring at him. He didn't even have to look. He could feel everyone staring holes in the back of his head. Why is everyone staring at me? Do I have something on my back? He thinks to himself. What is going on? Izuku then begins to speed walk, and when he reaches class, he quickly shuts the door behind him as if he was trying to outrun a zombie group chasing him. At least in class, everyone seems normal. They were just talking amongst one another until Uraraka approaches Izuku.
Oh, hey Deku. How's it going?
Hey, Uraraka-chan. I am not gonna lie, I'm having kind of a weird day.
Oh, really? Well, what's going on?
Suddenly, the door creeps open slightly, and everyone looks and sees what appears to be a sort of frog puppet floating next to the doorway. Hi, everybody. It's me, Kermit the Frog. Today, we are going to be having a lot of fun today. Yay! Aizawa, is that you? Come on, Aizawa, says Kermit. He enters, revealing himself as the puppeteer. Everyone stares in bewilderment, but Aizawa tells everyone that he's only doing this once. And then Kermit says, "That's right. You all better cherish this moment while you still can, because you'll never see me again. Yay!" Everyone looks at each other, and they take their seats. And Kermit the Frog says, "All right, students, today we are going to be talking about our dreams and what we dreamed about last night. So, who wants to go first?" Izuku's the first to stand up, and he explains that his dream is that he's the number one hero, and that one day he will lead his own organization and bring them to the top. Kermit says, "That's a really great dream you had there, Izuku. As long as you believe in yourself, it can happen. Yay!" Thank you, Aizawa. "I'm not Aizawa. I'm Kermit the Frog." Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Kermit. "It's no problem. Now, who wants to go next?" One by one, everyone tells their dream, but some people just don't remember their dreams. And things got a little bit weird when Kaminari went up next and explained his dream. Denki Kaminari goes next, and in his dream, he explains that he had a dream about Izuku, who is actually a humanoid female wolf girl, and that he's in a group known as the Phantom Menaces, and one day he is on the beach with her and the other girls of Class 1A doing Truth or Dare, and Mina Ashido would dare female Izuku to French kiss him for 30 seconds. But later on, everyone in the world was trapped in this dark abyss, and it turns out this female version of Izuku was actually a shadow goddess who gave birth to her daughter and saved the world from mythological creatures. And I swear, anyone who even remotely even thinks about that should be thrown in an insane asylum ASAP. That's just my opinion. Everyone's mouth was drooped open, and Kermit says, "That's a very specific dream, Kaminari, but it must mean it's a sign or something. Maybe you should decipher it." Mineta is the last to go, and let's just say when he's done with his dream, Momo throws a book at his head, and he falls over. Anyway, now that that's over with, let's go ahead and head over to our next session. Everyone's least favorite thing, mathematics. Yay! Suddenly, Aizawa gets a notification over the intercom and is needed, and Midnight will take his place while he is absent. He leaves, and Midnight enters with her whip in hand, and to everyone's surprise, she's actually wearing normal clothes. She's wearing a coat and a skirt that matches the same color as it. It just seems normal, which seems out of place to Izuku.
Good morning, class. How's everyone doing?
She says as she lays her chest flat down on Aizawa's desk, purposely exposing her top breasts to the class. Everyone says, "Good," and Midnight tells the girls to move to a different classroom for a different session, and she'll be here with the boys for mathematics. Soon the girls leave and go to another room, and Midnight smiles maliciously and says,
Hey, boys, tell me, how are you all doing right now?
she says while leaning backwards, crossing her legs over each other. The boys swallow their saliva and says, Good.
That's great to hear. I have a surprise for all of you. We're going to play a game of strip quiz. Any math question that I give you and you answer it correctly, I'll take off a piece of my clothes. But if you get one wrong, I put all my clothes back on and we continue class as normally. So, what do you all say?
Denki responds, saying, are you being serious right now? She licks her lips.
As a heart attack. Now, shall we get started? Let's start off with something easy. What is 90 plus 10?
Ida stands up and says, 100, ma'am.
Very good. Now, what is 50 minus 50?
Denki stands up and says, 0, ma'am.
Correct. What is 125 times 657?
A few seconds passed, and no one has answered yet.
Come on, boys. You gotta know this. What's the answer?
The boys were trying their best to think of the answer, but then Minetta stands up and said, 82,125. Everyone stares at him, impressed that he actually knew the answer, and then they looked at Midnight. And she smiled and said,
Correct.
unbuttoning her pants, she then drops them, revealing her sexy black undergarments.
And now for division. What is 72 divided by -9?
Sojiro stands up and says, -8, ma'am.
Oh, you boys are a lot smarter than I anticipated. I'm sorry I underestimated you. That's correct.
She takes off her shirt, revealing her black Woo! Woo! It's getting kind of hot in here. She takes off her shirt, revealing her black double D bra, which matched the color of her undergarments. The boys breathe heavily, and their faces turn red.
Okay, last question. And if you get it correctly, I'll take the last pieces of my undergarment off.
She says while reaching for the clip of her bra.
But remember, get even one wrong, and class goes as normal and all my clothes go back on. But this time, I'm going to choose a random person.
Looking around, she says,
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Midoriya, let me ask you something before we get to the math question. You're on a train and you get very, very hot. What do you do?
well, I guess I'd open my window.
Good. Now, imagine a 2 by 3 foot window. The train is traveling 50 miles per hour north, and the wind is blowing 15 miles per hour east. How long would it take for the new air to replace the old air in the cart?
Izuku is stumped. He didn't know this answer. He wasn't expecting this. Bakugo says, Come on, Deku, I thought you were a nerd. Come on, Midoriya, don't mess this up for us.
Now, boys. Let him think. What's your answer, Midoriya?
I, I don't know.
No. Well, that's too bad.
The boys bang their heads to their desks as Midnight puts her clothes back on. Bakugo then punches Izuku's shoulder, and class proceeds like normal. When the girls came back, they tried asking the boys what had happened with Midnight, and they all would just say that they'd rather not talk about it. A few minutes before Kermit and Aizawa come back, Mineta went to Izuku and said, "Hey, Midoriya, I gotta tell you something." "Oh, well, what is it, Mineta-san?" "When I explained my dream during class, when Momo threw the book at me, I think I saw a vision. Midoriya, I think I could see the future." "Really? Well, what did you see?" "Well, it's a bit blurry, but I see you answering the door and there's a girl who says she's your sister." "Midoriya, do you have any siblings?" "No. Mineta, I think we might need to get you to the nurse's office." "Nah, I'm fine. Trust me. King Kong ain't got on me." "Wait, what?" "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to swear. I don't know why I said that. I think I heard it in a vision, but anyway, I'm done. Later, Midoriya." Izuku is a bit confused, but he proceeds class as normal, and then lunch hour ensues. The class was sitting and eating until the doors to the cafeteria close, and they are unable to get them open. Suddenly, the cafeteria's intercom then turns on with Nezu's voice being heard over it. "Good evening, students. If you haven't noticed, today is a very special day, and it is my pleasure to tell you why. As of right now, the school's cafeteria is having an all-out food fight. Hope everyone has fun and has a nice day." Everyone looks to each other, confused, but then suddenly, food starts being thrown across the room, with someone shouting, "Food fight!" And the food fight occurs. Some of Class 1A hid under their tables, and Izuku wonders, what is going on with today? Why is everyone so weird? Bakugo says, "I swear, if one piece of food gets on my shirt, I swear there's gonna be bodies hitting the floor." Suddenly, Bakugo was then struck in the back of the head with a slice of pie, but on the bright side, it didn't get on his shirt like he wanted. Izuku says, "Well, on the bright side, it didn't get on your shirt like you wanted." Bakugo then gives Izuku the death stare and says, "Shut up, Deku." He then stands up and gets on top of the table, grabbing a handful of desserts and vegetables and throwing them with explosions. Soon, everything comes to an end, and everyone walks out covered in food and laughing. Class 1A was on their way back to class, but just before 2 minutes of class could get started, Momo then tapped Izuku on his shoulder and asked him if she could speak with him alone. Denki and Mineta started making noises like, "Ooh, go get him, tiger." Izuku blushes and follows Momo to a private classroom. The sun was shining through the blinds of the window. "So, Yaoyorozu, what is it you wanted to talk about?" "Well, Midoriya, it's just... I wanted to tell you something. I've had this feeling for months now, and I can't hold it in anymore." "No way. Is she gonna..." She bows down. "Please go on a date with me?" "Oh, well, I had no idea you had these feelings for me. It's just so sudden. I mean, I would be lying if I say I haven't thought about it myself. I mean, you're really smart, you're kind, and, I really am glad to have a classmate, let alone a friend like you. She approaches Izuku. Her face inches towards him. Izuku's face is red as a tomato. "I'm sorry. what I'm going to do, Midoriya, but it has to be done. If we're going to do this, I need you to accept me for who I really am. Midoriya, I'm a guy! What? I was born a boy, but over time I found myself slowly turning into a girl. I found myself liking boys more, and I really like to dress up. It makes me feel more comfortable, and I like my hair long and flowing. And now that you know this, would you still go out with me? Izuku is at a loss for words, but then he starts laughing, thinking that, no, this is all a joke. Okay, I finally get it. Where are the cameras at? Momo's face then turns happy to sad. What? Slowly, anger starts to take her, and Izuku is looking around, and she grabs one of his wrists, and she places it over her private area, and Izuku feels something that shouldn't be there for women. Momo's face then turns red with embarrassment, and she leaves, and Izuku is completely stunned. What the heck? She was not kidding. A couple minutes later, Izuku went back to class, and Kermit asked him where has he been, and Izuku, not wanting to humiliate Momo, says, I'm having boy trouble. Oh my god. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry for that. Alright, I pulled myself together. Kermit then says, well, take your boy troubles to your desk. We're going to. Well, take your boy troubles to your desk. We're going on a trip to watch the cops at work. Yay! Oh man, I'm gonna be laughing at that for a while. They get in a bus and they arrive. They get in a bus and they arrive as police were closing in on a gang that has been giving them trouble for the past few weeks. From the distance, they watch, and a shootout occurs. After a few minutes, the police were getting the upper hand on the gang, but the students see one man in particular. He had short black hair and African American skin. He wasn't killing them, but instead he was shooting the guns out of their hands like a professional gunsman. Wow, he's really good with that gun, says Momo. I'd say he's just as skilled as snipers, says Izuku. The remaining gang then puts their guns down and their hands up. The police approaches and cuffs them, and as they're doing so, the black man then shouts, King Kong ain't got on me! Mineta and Izuku look at each other like, wait, didn't you just say that about a few hours ago? Soon, everyone makes it back to school, and it was almost time to go home. Izuku couldn't wait to just go home and just sleep this day away, because so far, his front door was bashed in by a white man who changed into a black man. Aizawa. Aizawa is playing with puppets. Midnight was teasing all of the male students with her body, and the class cafeteria had an all-out food fight for no reason. I found out that a classmate that I had a crush on is actually a guy, and Mineta can predict the damn future. I need to sleep after such a weird day. Suddenly, All Might then enters the room and explains that he needs to talk with young Midoriya. In the teacher's lounge, they talk. Hey, All Might, what's going on with today? Before they talk, Toshinori then looks around outside to make sure no one is listening on them. He closes the door. He whispers, listen, young Midoriya, something is not right about today. I know, right? Today has been so weird. Like, everyone's acting strange and I don't know what to do. Listen, It may have something to do with the fact that it's April All Might. They look and they see Aizawa giving them a very scary look with an ominous black aura surrounding his body. Both of their bloods freeze in place as their hearts nearly stopped from the fright. Izuku, get back to class. I have to talk with All Might. Okay, Mr. Aizawa. He leaves, and when he gets back to class, there was absolutely no one there. Where did everybody go? There's like 5 minutes left until school's over. Izuku walks towards the exit, but there was absolutely no one there. It was like everyone had just disappeared. But then, just as Izuku reaches the school gates, he sees a familiar figure, a blonde, spiky-headed boy. It was Bakugo. He was standing there, staring at Izuku as he gets closer. Hey, Kachan, do you have any idea what's going on today? Deku, listen. Or Midoriya, listen. Izuku's heart nearly stopped for a second. Did he just call me Midoriya? I've been thinking about this for a long time now, and after all the hardships that we've endured and the near-death experience that we have encountered, I finally come to realize something. I have never treated you fairly. And let's just say that it took me a long time to finally realize that you're a person. Just like if my hand was impaled by a sharp object, it would bleed red, and you would bleed red. But even if you didn't bleed red, you're still a person. And I realized from childhood to our adolescence, I've been a terrible person to you just because you were different from me. And with that, he bows to Izuku. I'm sorry, Midoriya. Okay, that is the last straw. Like, Izuku could take the fact that Mineta can predict the future, Aizawa interrupting him in All Might's conversations, and him finding out that Momo is actually a guy. But this is just too much. Like, Izuku's heart was gonna explode out of his chest at this moment. And so, using full cowling, he runs for the hills as fast as he can. He ran and ran and ran like he was trying to outrun a bullet, and eventually he reaches home. Izuku has never felt this anxious in his life. He's breathing so fast and so hard, it feels like he's gonna have a heart attack. But he's home now. He says to himself to calm him down. I can just go to sleep, skip dinner, and hopefully tomorrow will be back to normal. He opens the door and enters, but it was dark inside. Mom, I'm home. I'm having a really weird day right now, so if you could please not speak Spanish to me, that would be great. Hey, why is it dark in here? Turning the lights on, Izuku is met with everyone in his class, including all the teachers that he's encountered today. All of them shout, April Fools! What the heck is going on? Deku, says Bakugo, you must be the biggest idiot if you haven't figured it out yet. It's April 1st. April Fool's Day, remember? Wait, so you're telling me that everything that I've been through was just a joke? Yep, says All Might. Aizawa with the puppet? Yep, says Kermit. And Yaoyorozu being he doesn't finish the sentence because he doesn't want to risk humiliating her, but she does admit that that was just a prank too. And Midnight with the strip quiz, she giggles and says,
Actually, that's just one of my guilty pleasures of teasing my students to be better at math. That way they could be well rewarded.
Izuku stops to think for a second. He says, but why me specifically? Tsuyu Asui steps forward and says, well, we drew names from a hat and yours popped up. Hang on, so at this moment right now, is all of this just one big April Fool's joke or what? Y'all got it. You guys can't break me anymore right now. Inko chuckles and says, Sweetie, do you remember the envelope that I gave you this morning? Yeah, it's right here. Open it. He opens it, and inside was a piece of paper that said, April Fools. Izuku would then start breaking out laughing, finally accepting the reality. He is joined by everyone else, and for no reason, they just decided to celebrate. Just throw a party, just to end the day on a positive note. Class 1A was talking amongst each other while the adults were talking amongst each other too. And Inko, hearing about Midnight stripping in front of her son, kind of put her on ease, but she leaves it. She's a professional. Back to the students, Izuku says, So, Momo, just out of curiosity, would you actually let me take you out on a date, though? She blushes and turns her head away, and everyone says, Oh. Suddenly, a knock at the door. Izuku goes to answer it. When he opens it, it reveals a girl with black and green fuzzy hair, just like his. She had light freckles on her face, and she had this very nervous expression. How can I help you? Um, is Izuku Midoriya? She says as she twists the tip of her toes to the ground. Yeah? Who are you? My name is Rizuki Shinakata, and I think we might be siblings. It's quiet for a moment. The two then look at each other, eye to eye. Izuku smiled and says, Oh, okay, I get it, it makes sense. Really? It does? Yeah. Oh, well, wow, I'm really happy that you understand. Yeah, it's a joke. What? Yeah, it's April Fool's Day. Funny thing is, the funny things have been happening all day, and you're here to do your part with Mineta, right? Weirdly enough, you actually almost convinced me that you were my sibling, but thank you for your efforts. But you have a safe night, okay? But wait, Izuku, He closes the door, and Rizuki is left dumbfounded. Her brother just shut the door on her. Taking an exhale, she just walks off. And inside, Izuku's mom, Inko, asks, Who was at the door, sweetie? Oh, it was just somebody else trying to pull an April Fool's Day joke on me. But I'm not falling for it anymore. Oh, okay then. Well, let's get back to the party then. They do, and the story comes to an end. Okay, maybe that's not exactly how I want it to end. Let's go ahead and add in this next part that just popped into my head. You see, at All for One's lair, as he's sitting in front of this giant monitor, plotting his next scheme, his assistant, Kurigiri, brings him a tray of liquid foods. As you all know, he's been badly hurt by All Might, so he can't exactly process food like he used to. When he sat the tray down, he was given all sorts of options, but one sort of beverage caught his eye. This was a sort of milkshake, if you may. It was light purple, and for whatever reason, it said the Grimace shake from McDonald's. I wonder what this is. Seems to be just an ordinary vanilla milkshake, but purple. Wonder how it tastes. Taking the first sip from it, it tastes normal. It tastes like an ordinary vanilla milkshake. It's alright, but I feel odd for some reason. Suddenly, a big purple fuzzy figure appears right behind him, and then we fade to black.